I, Peter V. Verrigan, I had a great effect on all Doukhobors in life as I did in death.
Peter Verrigan, Lordly Peter Verrigan, was the leader of the Doukhobors of Canada, and because of him is why the Doukhobors are here, is why I'm here. He was a very powerful man. Economically, he did a lot of things that brought a lot of economics to Canada.
Peter Verrigan is the most famous and the most beloved and respected of all the Doukhobor leaders. He was the last leader of Doukhobors in Russia and the first one after Doukhobors came to Canada. In fact, he was the person who orchestrated the move of Doukhobors to Canada. Many people loved him because he was an absolutely charismatic leader. He was shrewd economist, smart politician, social reformer. Doukhobors called him Gospodny. So in Russian, Gospodny actually means Lord's with apostrophe. So it indicates that he was doing God's work, and it indicates that he belonged to God. He was serving his cause.
That's for you. That's for you. Yeah.
They also wanted to have communal life. And again, first they were allowed to toil the land together in communes. Some of them voluntarily passed over to homesteads, but some of them didn't want to do this. And since 1902, the government was pressurizing them to switch to individual homesteads. In all this turmoil, Peter Verrigan came to Saskatchewan, and he was trying to calm the Doukhobors. He stopped the marches of protest. He reorganized the life, and Doukhobors prospered. It was in fact an outstanding community. In those days, they were buying, under Peter Verrigan's guidance, they were buying steam tractors, they were buying steam-powered equipment for mills. They had a few mills, they had a few brick factories, they had over 1,000 of horses and lots of cattle, so they had really prosperous economy going on.
I, Peter V. Verrigan, was killed in order to destroy the Doukhobor community. My name's Rick Chop. I've come in from Kelowna to help my sister, who's been involved in this Doukhobor Dugout house for about 15 years. I come for a week or so every summer.
Rick Chop's role is to play Peter V. Verrigan. So he brings him alive to speak to the people about who he was and what he thought.
Peter Verrigan was the major reformer of Doukhobor beliefs. So his appeal was to go back to the belief of the forefathers, and first and foremost the major principle was we have to be strict with refusing military service.
How can I defend myself? I have met and parted with everyone.
We know that he boarded a train on October 29th, 1924, late at night, and the train exploded. And so that's never been solved. It's been a case that's been opened, and so I decided to focus on that being our theme this year.
He was heading for Fructove, which was a Doukhobor settlement. He went as far as Ferron Station, and then while 1 mile off Ferron Station, the carriage in which he was traveling exploded. There are different theories. Some of them are more bizarre, some of them are more plausible. So I would suggest that the three perhaps theories that I have heard discussed amongst the Doukhobors are the theories that it was governmental conspiracy to get rid of the socialist leader who was threatening the fundamentals of Canadian social structure. The second theory is that it was Doukhobors, more radical groups within the Doukhobors, who wanted to kill them. And the third theory is that it was Russian secret services that wanted him murdered because they didn't want Verygin to bring the Doukhobors back to Russia.
I gave raisins and nuts to everyone and left on my final journey. I declared, brothers and sisters, farewell. Please forgive me.
There is some evidence that Peter Verygin was a little bit apprehensive before his death, that he traveled to Saskatchewan and Alberta, and he traveled around BC, the Doukhobor settlements, and he was saying goodbyes. So he may be expecting that something bad would happen to him. But again, this could be just interpretations that we've seen in retrospect.
Old records show that he got quite mysterious on that trip, saying, you know, farewell to all his brothers and everything, and because he was quite a popular leader, of course they documented everything he said because they thought it was important.
When Peter Verygin died, it was a great tragedy. There were thousands of people who came to say their goodbyes because Verygin, Doukhobor beliefs in principle, and Verygin's reading of the beliefs reinforced the equality of all people. There are probably a couple of dozen theories about Peter Verygin's death. It was opened a few years ago by RCMP as a cold case. So now actually the materials are open to public and anybody can investigate.
RCMP, and we're working now with a constable out there with the E Division for Homicide Cold Case. The records were last researched in the 70s, so we've decided that we're going to move forward. It's been, you know, many years, so they're helping us connect to get those records. And we're hoping that none of them are blacked out, that we can revisit that and hopefully solve this mystery about Peter Verygin.
The secret of my death lies within those records of the RCMP.
But I do believe that you've got to know where we come from. We can't forget where we've come from, and I think we owe it to where we've come from. It's Canadians' history, it's the people's history, and we want people to come out and learn everything about the Doukhobors. So out here at the Dugout House, you get to participate in way of washing clothes or pulling the plow, and we're in costume, so we all play a part in getting everyone back to history in 1899.
If you have program ideas that you'd like to see on Max TV Local On Demand, write us at max.local@sasktel.com.